All right, so we're just gonna take the fat off.
Okay. Now, would you do anything with that skin, or is it pretty much done?
It's pretty much done.
Okay.
If it was in the raw state, you can make cracklings. You can just render it off for more duck fat.
Okay, but at this point, it won't really crisp up?
No, it's
Okay.
pretty much done.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're just gonna pull the meat off, and you see how that's just, it's falling off the bone.
It's like butter.
Right?
Slippery.
Yeah, well, the fat will do it.
Yeah. It's so dark, too.
Yeah, this is through the curing process and the cooking process.
And where do you source the duck from? Is that purchased locally?
So I purchased that through Indian Ridge Provisions.
Wonderful.
And we use a white Peking duck. And it's a very, again, versatile. We get, the giblets and the livers and all that. And
really good quality.
Yep, really good quality. So we just want to break this up enough so that it's not going to kind of puncture the wonton wrapper,
Okay, so it
right?
needs to be pretty fine.
So it needs to be, we're just going to break it up and crumble it together a little bit.
Okay.
So we're just going to take this and we're going to, again, we're going to go with a little bit of fresh thyme.
Again, so we put thyme in the vinaigrette, we put thyme in the cure, we put thyme in the cooking.
Love the thyme, a little bit in each, yep. We're going to add a little bit of goat cheese.
Yum. So very French here, just across the board. I love
Absolutely. Why not? Don't use too much. Goat cheese is strong, right? So don't use too much.
It's all about balance.
It's all about balance. If you wanted to, you can take a small scoop of the duck fat, put that in there. If you're into duck fat.
Why not?
So
are we going to fry these in duck fat?
We are going to fry these in duck fat.
That's amazing.
Right? And as it should be, right?
Exactly.
Why are you going to add something else when you have duck fat? All right, so now we're going to take so when you're working with wonton wrappers, just when you pull them out, keep them covered with a damp cloth.
Okay,
because
they'll dry out.
they will dry out. Yep, absolutely. So we're going to start off, dust your surface with a little cornstarch.
Okay.
So this is going to prevent any moisture from the duck confit. If you get a soft spot with too much moisture, you're going to have what I call a blowout.
Okay.
Right? And so the wonton will explode and then it just...
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's
No
terrible.
fun.
And I'll keep my fingers crossed that we'll be able to do that effectively when we're frying it in the duck
I have
fat.
confidence in you. Now, why cornstarch?
Why cornstarch? So cornstarch it's going to absorb more of the moisture, essentially. So it just takes on moisture better.
Gotcha.
Yep. That one is a little ripped, so...
We don't want to use that.
We don't
want to blow out.
Right, we don't want to blow out. So here is all right, so we're just going to take a little bit of the mixture. So the other thing with this is when you're making them, you have a tendency to want more.
Yeah.
Right? So don't overstuff the wonton because... Again, you're gonna,
it'll just come to hurt you.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt you in the end.
Okay.
So why hurt when you can heal?
Right.
Right?
This is all about healing.
So, so we're gonna take this mix
That
here.
really is a small amount. I would definitely put more than that in if I was doing these on my
Well,
own.
you know what I would recommend?
What?
I would recommend buying a spring roll wrapper.
Okay.
And then you can make
they're
spring
a little
rolls.
Bigger?
They're a little bigger, right? So it's not as much work.
Right.
You got to make a lot more of these.
That's true.
But you can certainly make a spring roll with these.
Okay.
All right? All right, and then we're going to seal it with a little bit of egg wash.
All right. If you want, show me how to do one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then I'll do them.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're just going to dip. If you have a pastry brush, use a pastry brush.
Okay.
I'm just doing it this way. It's faster, right? So you just want to do those two sides. And we're going to fold this over. Try not to get the cornstarch in between, right? And just push that down and go along the edge.
Okay.
And try to push up against the duck meat. Push that air out of it.
Gotcha.
Right?
You don't want any air bubbles.
Correct. So we're just going to press that and then down on the bottom corner. You can leave them like this or you can just do that, right?
Nice.
Right?
Very cute.
So, yeah, if you want to do the other one there, that's great. Little egg wash and then fold. Try not to get the cornstarch on there.
How am I doing?
Fantastic. Perfect. Wow, they're better than mine. You are
Well,
good.
I don't know. I got to get
You
the
really
air
know what you're
bubbles
doing
out.
in this kitchen, don't you?
I mean, it's not my first rodeo. Okay.
All right.
And
then just fold it, yep, and just put a little egg. You have a little egg on the end there?
Get a little bit more.
Yep. And then press those.
Cool.
All right?
Easy.
So now we're going to test the temperature. We're just going to dip the edge of the wonton in. So that's perfect.
Okay. So just want tiny little bubbles?
Yep. So we're going to turn up the heat at this point, because what's
Okay.
going to happen is when we add the wonton to the oil, it's going to reduce the
Drop that
temperature of the
temp.
oil. So you just want to...
So you always
Turn
want
that up.
to make sure that your oil's staying at the same temperature.
Correct.
It's a great tip.
And right in the duck fat, huh?
Perfect.
Now,
So it's
if
okay
don't-
that you
if
still
don't-
had-
If you don't have enough duck fat, again, rice bran oil.
Okay, so just
right?
supplement with another neutral
Yeah,
oil.
you can add to it, do half and half. You can do clarified butter, right? So any of those things will
Okay,
work.
great.
All right.
And it's okay that there was all that cornstarch on the outside
Yep.
that just gets them
Yep.
crisp.
Yep.
Perfect. Now, I don't know, do you remember whose was whose?
Well, I think the perfect one was mine, wasn't it?
I was gonna say
oh,
that
no,
was
that
probably
was your,
mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, so we don't have to cook these too long.
okay.
Now, and
they
the
get-
other thing is, you don't want to have the temperature. You got to really regulate the temperature at this
Okay.
point, right? Because you don't want them to explode.
Yes.
So we're going to turn
We
that
do
down
not
a little
want
bit.
a blowout.
No blowouts.
Not here. Not on the
And
chef's kitchen.
we're going to let the oil drip off of those,
Oh, I see.
right? So,
Are you looking for them to turn color,
So,
or how can you tell they're done?
ever see how they're turning
Yeah.
dark brown around
Just
the edge?
a little golden.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. They're so crisp.
All right. So now we're just going to take a little bit of sunflower sprouts
Okay.
and just take a little bit of the vinaigrette.
And the sunflower sprouts, of course, you get locally.
Yeah,
you
so
do
we
most
use
of your
this farm
produce.
called Groff's Farm, and they're in not too far from the hotel. And they're actually growing microfennel for us.
Nice.
Amaranth, sunflower, pea tendrils. I mean, they just do sprouts. So
All the microgreens.
yeah,
Beautiful.
and that's all they do. So they're really great quality. So we're just going to take a little bit of. So what we did is roasted some pistachios.
Nice.
And we're just going to chop those up, and we're going to lightly dust
Okay.
the sunflower sprout, and take our wontons.
What a nice little appetizer, especially for spring.
Now, if you have, again, pea tendrils will work for this. You can use arugula, would go really nice with the
Okay.
goat cheese and the duck confit
Right,
and the
for sure.
pistachios, and a little more of the vinaigrette.
Okay. Just on the bottom there so they don't get
Yep,
soggy.
just a little bit, yep.
Perfect.
And then a little more dusting of the pistachio.
Awesome. I'm going to bring this over to the table so we can taste them.